Hello and welcome to the third of our Peer Gynt lessons. I am really looking forward to today's lesson. I can't tell you how much. Now, first things first, let's make sure that you have everything that you need. So we need to be thinking about, have you got a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil, or have you printed off the worksheets that are on the live lesson resources page? One or other would be really useful. If you haven't printed these off, that's fine, but they are there for you to help. Or you can get a piece of paper, pen, pencil, and you can use that work just as well. The other thing I said to bring to today's lesson, for those of you that saw last week's lesson, and I have been posting it up on Facebook and all those sort of places, is a saucepan and a wooden spoon or a couple of spoons or something like that that can make a tingy sound, be a bit of a percussion sound. We're looking at a bit of percussion today. So I'm using just 2 teaspoons and that works quite well. So, sorry, if you've not got those things, go on, run and get them. Quick, 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 quick. Grab them, come back, and we will start because we've got so much to get through today. And yeah, I'm really excited about all of this. Really excited. I think this is my favorite lesson so far, I've got to be honest. So hopefully you've got your paper, your pen, pencil, and you've got your worksheet to write the answers down on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a little listen to this third piece from the Peer Gynt Suite number 1. And we're going to answer some questions about it. I'm not going to tell you any information about it, what it is. I want you to just have a listen and get some ideas and write them down. So there's a bit of a clue with the fact that I'm using spoons, sort of, and I'm after a tingy sound. What percussion instrument is playing in this piece? A percussion instrument is an instrument that you hit with your hand or with a beater, and it's from that particular family of the orchestra. So what percussion instrument is playing? The second question, name 3 other instruments that are playing. So there's quite a few instruments that are playing. You need to see if you can come up with 3 others. And they may all be from the same family of instruments. There's a clue. Question 3, how many beats are there in a bar? So if you remember, we fit music into like little boxes that we call bars and we count beats. So most pop music, for example, has got 4 beats in a bar, but you could have 6 beats in a bar, 12 beats in a bar, 2 beats in a bar, 3 beats in a bar. You write down how many beats in a bar you think there are. And this piece is a dance. What type of dance is it? So think a little bit about Strictly. I don't know whether you watch Strictly. I don't, but I do know all about it. Strictly, and think about the different types of dances that there are. There's so many, but the beats in a bar might help you to answer this question. And that's all I'm going to say on that one, because I need you to sort of figure it out. So without more ado, let me disappear so that you can concentrate and not have me distracting you in the corner. And we will listen to this piece of music. And I'm only going to play it once, just once all the way through, for you to get a sort of feel for it and answer the questions. Here we go. Okay, get your answers down. Get them all written, see what you think, and we will have a go through the answers, shall we? So, the first question was, what percussion instrument is playing? Now, the number 3 is going to be quite significant during today's lesson. We're thinking of a triangle. Triangle is a percussion instrument. It's made of metal and you hit it with a metal bar. And the percussion instrument, the triangle, plays quite a prominent part in this. Name 3 other instruments playing. Well, we've got violins. Could have violin 1 and violin 2, I suppose. You've got a viola, which is another member of the string family. You've got a cello, and you've also got a double bass playing in there as well. There are no other instruments, no other family of instruments are being used. They're all string instruments. But if you've put string instruments, well done, because you've obviously identified it, and they are being played in different ways. So, for example, the violin, the first violin, is playing with the bow, so it's all very smooth. Whereas the viola is playing pizzicato, which means that they're plucking the strings. So it gives the instrument a completely different sound. So it's understandable if you didn't quite get that, because you're hearing the strings being plucked, because you may never have heard of a violin, viola, or string instrument being plucked in that way when they're normally bowed. How many beats are there in a bar? Wow, the number 3 is very significant today. There are 3 beats in a bar. And the type of dance that we're listening to is actually a waltz. A waltz is probably the most famous type of dance that you hear that's got 3 beats in a bar. And you have that sort of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's very much a favourite dance on Strictly. So let's find out about this piece that we've just listened to. It's actually called Anitra's Dance. And let's think about our story of Peer Gynt for a moment. Peer Gynt, as we know, is a bit of a lad. He's a bit naughty. He does all sorts of things that he shouldn't. He's not always been the most loyal. He's out for himself. He will do whatever it takes. He sells dodgy goods. He drinks too much alcohol. He does a lot of things he shouldn't. And this particular part of the story that we're going to look at now is from Act 4 of Ibsen's play. If you remember, the pieces that we're listening to, they're not in a chronological order of telling the story of Ibsen's play. They've sort of been plucked from different bits. So actually, this part of the story is immediately after the piece Morning Mood bit that we listened to. It's just after that. So in Morning Mood, Peer Gynt had been left in Morocco fending off monkeys. Okay, so we've just got past that little bit. And so he's still in Morocco. And we are looking at Peer Gynt, who's sort of, he's down on his luck. He's lost all of his money and his possessions because they stole them when they stole his boat. And he's been deserted. And he just happens to find some Bedouin clothes. Bedouin are a tribe. We'll come to that in a minute. But he found some Bedouin clothes and he put them on. And he's mistaken for a prophet by a local tribe. Prophet, somebody who can foresee the future, and he's mistaken for a prophet by a local tribe. And so he's sort of taken in. Now, the Bedouin are nomadic. They're a nomadic Arab tribe, and they are found in North Africa. They herd livestock. They have goats and sheep and camels. Very much in the 1800s, when we're thinking about Ibsen's play, that was very much the case. Nowadays, not all Bedouin are nomadic. Some of them are sort of settled down and in one place. So it would be wrong to make the sweeping statement that they're all nomadic now. That's not the case. But certainly back in this time of Peer Gynt, that they were nomadic and travelling around North Africa, herding their livestock, goats, sheep and camels. Okay. Now, the Bedouin ethos is all about courage, hospitality, loyalty to family and pride in their ancestry. And the fact that they are so hospitable, they welcome Peer Gynt into their tribe, very much so. Now, Anitra is the daughter of a Bedouin tribal chief. she is very beautiful to Peer Gynt, and he tries to take advantage of her, but she's way too clever for him. She's not going to have any of that. So she dances for him. She does this beautiful dance, and she persuades him to give her all his wealth, everything, which he does. And then she threatens to set her father's guards on him if he doesn't leave immediately. Well, you can imagine he was just a bit on the worried side about that. And so he does. He leaves, and he loses all his wealth yet again. He's really, I mean, he's not very lucky. He's not very good either, but he's not very lucky. So there's the story behind it. We're going to have a little look now at, we're going to take it a step further. So we're going to move on from the story, but we're going to have a look at a conductor, because we're going to do some conducting today. We're going to have a little bit of fun with conducting. I think conducting's fun. So a conductor, now a person who directs a performance, tells the orchestra, the band, the choir what to do, is a conductor. You'll see them, if you watch orchestras playing, you'll see them standing in front of the orchestra. So the orchestra faces the audience, the conductor has their back to the audience, and they are directing the orchestra. Conducting, in a musical sense, is directing the performance, and this includes conducting how many beats there are in a bar. And so we're going to have a little look at how to conduct today. Now, the first thing I'm going to show you is my baton, because I conduct orchestras sometimes, and I have a baton. A baton is just a stick. It's a special little stick that you conduct with. Okay, now I'm not going to use my baton today because I think it'll be a little bit difficult for you to follow on the screen, but that's all it is. And you usually use a baton if you're conducting an orchestra or a type of orchestral group. You don't tend to use a baton if you're conducting a choir. Most people who conduct choirs use their hands, and it's the same thing. It's just that when you're conducting a choir, it's quite different. You're sort of, it's more intimate, I think, in some ways. And so you're using your hand for the nuances of the words and things like that. So we're going to have a look at how to conduct 3 beats in a bar. Okay. And you're going to learn with me. So you can put your pen or your pencil, or you might want to use your pen or pencil, as a baton. That's absolutely fine as well. You could do that. We're going to learn how to conduct 3 beats in a bar. Now, I've drawn it as if you are right-handed, but quite honestly, it does not matter whether you are right-handed or left-handed when you conduct. You can use either hand. There are right-handed and left-handed conductors. I am left-handed. I conduct with my left. It's absolutely okay. The direction is exactly the same. So I'm going to use both hands so that you can see it being done left and right-handed. So what you do, because we're counting in 3, we're going to be drawing a triangle in the air. So we start at the top and we come down with 1. We then go away from our bodies like that in 2, and then we form the end of the triangle with 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You have a try. Let's do it. After 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it doesn't matter which hand you're using. Remember, I'm only using both to demonstrate what it looks like with both hands. You only need to use one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whichever hand is best for you. So we've mastered the art of conducting in 3. Now, if I was the conductor for this orchestra playing Anitra's dance, I would also need to tell them other little bits of information. I would need to tell them when to get louder. And I can do that in two ways. I can make them get louder or quieter, or I can make my conducting bigger or smaller. So if I want somebody to be quiet, I would keep my movements very small. If I wanted them to be louder, I would make my movements very big. When I want somebody to hold a note, and you need to know this in a little while, I would hold my hand like that to say, keep playing, keep playing. And then when I want them to stop, I do that. It's like a shh. Okay? So I bring them off is what we say. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, hold, off. Okay? Now, we had the instruction to bring with us an instrument that could ting. And that's because we're going to have a go at following Anitra's dance and performing along with it, following the conductor's directions using the ting. Before we do that, I perhaps should have done this before. Before we do that, I'm going to play the beginning of Anitra's dance and we're just going to conduct it. We'll worry about the percussion after. Let's have a go at just conducting in time with the music. Not all of it, just some of it. Let's give it a try. Okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. See if you can bring in the triangles. No triangles for this bit. Gets louder here. Big movements. Gets quieter again in a second. Slow down. Okay, I wasn't going to do the whole piece, but then I thought, why not? It's good practice. So you could see some of the things that I'm going to be doing while you're having a go at playing the triangle part, and you will follow my directions. So when the triangle is to play, I will point to you, and conductors do this. If somebody in the orchestra, a particular group in the orchestra need to play something, the conductor will bring them in, will point to them, to tell them, your turn, time to play, to help them out. Normally, the triangle might be given the first entry, the first time they play the ting. After that, they would be expected to count and make sure that they came in the right place. But I'm just going to give you each of those entries. And you can see there was one point where we slowed down. So you need to be ready for that. And at the end, and at the beginning, actually, you'll need to hold the note, and I will bring you off. Okay, so let's get your percussion instruments ready. So if you're using spoons like me, or you might have gone large and you've got a saucepan and you're tinging something on the side of the saucepan, or anything that makes a tingy noise, or you might be really lucky and you actually have a triangle at home, and that would work brilliantly too. Of course it would. So let's have a go at following the instructions. Now, I haven't got the music in front of me. I'm having to try and remember everything, so bear with. The other thing to remind you of is that all of these music files I have created. There are no live musicians involved with what you're listening to today. It's all been created by me. And I would encourage you to go and listen to a live performance of this on YouTube or in person even, because it's a very different experience and it's amazing. Live music is very important. We have to keep music live. We're only doing it this way because then we comply with copyright law and all of that sort of stuff. So the files, if you do want to use mine, the music files are on the Theatre of Music live lessons and resources part of the website, theatreofmusic.com. You can access everything there, including the worksheets and the sound files. Right, let's give this a go then, shall we? Let's see if we can, see if I can work the technology. Let's see if we can conduct it. Well, I can conduct it and you follow the directions. Get your instrument ready. Well done. Well done. Hopefully you managed to follow along with all of that and followed those conductor's directions. It's difficult, isn't it, following those directions? But once you get into the sort of feel of it, and the other thing to bear in mind is that the triangle part is only playing on the first beat of each bar. So when it is coming in, it's not every bar, but when it is coming in, it's on the very first beat. It's on the downbeat. The downbeat is always 1, and the upbeat is always the last beat of the bar, whether that be a 3, 1, 2, 3, or whether that be a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last beat of the bar is always the upbeat, and the first beat of the bar is always the downbeat. Okay, so that sort of helps a little bit. Hopefully you had a bit of fun with that, and it's something that you could have a go at doing. After the lesson, you could press the music, play the music again and have a go at playing along with the triangle part, or have a go at doing the conducting, or both. Why not? really enjoying this. I think it's great fun teaching you how to conduct, and also actually you following the beats and stuff. I think it's great. So we have actually reached the end of today's lesson. It's gone so quickly, it really has. I've had a whale of a time. Now, there are some additional activities on the worksheet for you. Now, this sounds like really complicated stuff, and it isn't. I assure you, it really isn't. But on the worksheet are some additional activities for you. So this one is what we call, let's see if I can get it in the right place for you. There we go. It's what we call a melodic analysis activity. That sounds so difficult. It really isn't. It's looking at the melody of Anitra's dance. And what I've done is I've given you all of the key words of things that are going on in the tune, in the melody at the beginning. And there is a little bit of an activity, a bit like a musical comprehension activity, if you like, to ask you questions about the music that you see. So at the beginning, for example, in the string part, there are some things called trills, which are musical ornaments. And it's when two notes are played really quickly, one after another, da, 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 really, really, really quickly, rapidly, one after another. And they're marked on the score with the letters TR, meaning trill. And so the first question is circle all the trills. It's as simple as that. And that's melodic analysis. So there's that activity that you can have a go at. There's also the music written out for you. And I haven't had to change the key this time, so you could actually play along with the recording of the music for Anitra's dance. It's a little bit more complicated than the pieces that I've been putting up recently. But to help you out, I've also put a little drawing of a piano keyboard at the bottom to tell you where the notes are on the keyboard if you are using the keyboard to play it. So lots and lots for you to do after today's lesson as extra activities, extension activities that you can have a look at and sort of use. And remember, go back over the last couple of lessons as well. There's activities there too. So next week, we will be moving on to piece number 4. Again, I'm really looking forward to this one. This one's going to be fun. And the story that goes with it and what Peer Gynt has been up to for number 4. Yeah, he's in trouble again. And we're going to find out how he just manages to do it. So hopefully I will see you for the lesson next week at our usual time slot. In the meantime, it's just left for me to say bye for now, and I will play you some of Anitra's dance as we finish so you can have a practice of your conducting. Bye for now.